Hazardous materials in aquatic environments of the Mississippi River Basin is a large-scale interdisciplinary project in which scientists research issues related to aquatic environmental problems in Bayou Trepanier in Louisiana. One direct benefit is practical knowledge that can help clean up the Department of Energy's weapons complex. This work is funded by a grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to the Tulane and Xavier University's Center for Bioenvironmental Research, also known as the CBR. A team of scientists from Tulane and Xavier makes up the CBR's Fieldwork Corps. The team is responsible for assuring that all field samples are collected in compliance with standardized scientific protocols and agency regulations. The Fieldwork Corps supports the scientists who collect field samples of water, soil, sediments, aquatic and terrestrial plants, benthic invertebrates, fish, shrimp, and frogs. The fieldwork team assures that the scientists studying the bayou get the standardized samples they need. The team arranges transportation and assistance to investigators who personally collect field samples. The fieldwork team collects the samples and delivers them directly to Tulane and Xavier's labs for analysis. Established protocols are followed for sampling and recording the field data.
Well, our project deals with studying pollution from the past and how it impacts all of us. And this is important in Louisiana because up through the 1950s, oil and gas refinery wastes were dumped wholesale and haphazardly in Louisiana wetlands. And those contaminants are with us today. They're still there. And we have to understand what they're doing and how they're impacting us and ultimately how to clean them up. The DOE is very interested in coming up with new technologies for cleaning up this past pollution and for dealing with this problem that occurs in wetlands as well as in other environments.
I remember reading it in a book when I was just a young boy. It was the words of Tuhulhultu. And basically what it said was, I belong to the land out of which I came. This earth is my mother. And as you can see, it's not a statement to be taken lightly. We've got to take care of this place, or it won't take care of us.
Many of the toxic things that are being foolishly excreted into our streams, into the air, onto our land, the trees, what have you, it's a big mistake. And much of it is just due to greed, or maybe one would say overproduction. It's something that the people don't realize what they're doing. They don't realize that they're killing themselves, kind of similar to what Chief Seattle said. You're going to die in your own pollution, your own filth, if you don't clean up your act.
Today's ride resembled the symbolic meaning of our people, the beginning of our plight for freedom in 1877, the battle that occurred up there. Our people fought and died, and people still fight and die to these days. It's just a different battleground. They fought for what they believed in, and that was freedom. Anybody, anywhere in the world wants freedom. their way of life, their culture, and that's what took place here. Again, we are enacting by riding those horses out of our own free will, dressing the way we are and singing our songs. We're fighting for our freedom. It's 120 years later, but it's the same things they had: the culture, the religion, the horses, the way of life. And to me, that's what took place today. In our own way, we enacted what happened there was a fight for freedom. By doing this and honoring them, we again fought for freedom. Back then, they just fought to live. They just fought. All they wanted was to dig roots, catch salmon, ride their horses, travel freely amongst their land, their people. Today, we fight for little things such as education, health care, elderly care, our people, for our children, our older ones. That's what our fight is today, just to keep them alive. And that parallel is strong because, again, we have the old, we have the young, and we have the in-between, the leaders of now, leaders of tomorrow, the leaders that were yesterday. Just as they did then, they looked highly to the elders for strength, knowledge. They looked to the young ones for hope, that there was a generation to come up that gave them confidence that what they were doing was right.
We're still here! We're still here! They didn't kill us! We're on the horse!
Although it be 120 years later, it's just as strong, just as powerful. And again, I say it's just as right.
These horses that you see here are owned by the Chief Joseph Foundation. And right now, today, we own about 42 head of Appaloosa horses. And these you see are here in a pasture. And we finally got together a program that is training youngsters how to handle horses and saddle them and so forth, and even train them. And we have a program now that's called the Mounted Scholars Program. And what we are doing, we are working with the elementary school age kids and junior high age kids and teaching them horsemanship, the basics. This is a horse, this is a saddle kind of thing. And we're actually training them in how to handle horses and ride.
Balance on a horse. Most thing when you sit on a horse, you learn how to balance.
We're not asking them to raise horses themselves. What we're doing is exposing them to the horse culture. And if they grow older and want to raise and breed horses themselves, they can do that. Or they can forget about it and do whatever they need to do in life. So those are the kinds of things that we're emphasizing. It's to give them another alternative activity. They weren't raised with horses or cattle. And because of the fractionization of undivided interest in allotments on a reservation, they don't have any more property where they can raise horses. So I said there needs to be a way we can do that. And this is the way we're doing it. We're getting horsemanship back into the tribe, as well as helping the students overcome some difficulties they may have in school. And that's why we have this program.
We go to the school and we do work until 12:30, then we come and ride.
Yeah, great. Use your outside leg, slide your hand down. Back the other way. Come on, Joe. Go.
When I grow up, I'm going to ride horses. It's fun.
That's a little colt. He's about 2 days old. Jake saw him Monday. Out of an Appaloosa mare by an Akotiki stallion. There's only 125, 150 Akotikis in America. They're one of the rarest breeds of horses in the world. There's only about 2,000 of them in the world. And where they're from, they come from the desert, and some people over there call them the Northern Arabian, but they're a relative of the Arabian horse, and they're from the country of Turkmenistan, the stallion that we're using. This is this colt probably, maybe he's 31, 32nd quarter horse. 63, 64th maybe, but the color came out, you know. And four different types of Appaloosas we're working with. We're working with that thoroughbred Appaloosa too. We're working with quarter horse Appaloosas, and these roan mares over here on the right, they're Appaloosa to Appaloosa bred mares. And we got some, a few Arabian Appaloosas we're working with. 3 or 4 years, then we'll see what it, and then we'll start refining it from there and keep going with it. We'll incorporate the cross into a registry, into a breeding program.
Oh, wow.
And we can get some jobs going off of it, managing the registry, and people breed these horses, and they'll all come from here. So that's what the whole goal is. If we can have anybody in the world with an Appaloosa mare come to those stallions that we showed you, why then after that, there's enough genetic diversity on the Appaloosa side, we can, establish a type and a breed with using those 4 stallions. In a way, it seems like we're doing something really new. And it is, because the Akhal-Tiki wasn't introduced to America until 1979. But before that, it's been done for several thousand years. So if we wouldn't have done it, somebody else would have. We were fortunate. But, we've got to educate people all along the way too. But that's part of that. That's kind of what's neat about it. And again, gives us as a tribe we step off on our own history and of our heritage of breeding, being innovative and managing horses at a level that's higher than everybody else. And it's going to be nice.
Grandfathers, I ask you to bless Mother Earth for us, the water, all the living things above her grandfathers. Grandfathers, today I ask you to bless our children. It's time for us to be strong grandfathers to teach our tradition to our kids. I ask you to bless all the sick people out there, grandfathers. Take good care of them today. Bless them. People who may be hurting, grandfathers. I ask you to heal them today and touch them in a good way. ask the Creator to look down on our ancestors and our elders today. A lot of them are impacted because of the medicine plants, because of the salmon. Today we have to protect the medicine plants, the roots, the water, the grass that grows out there. Today we have to make those a priority. In order for our people to survive, the next generations are going to need the plants, the medicine plants that I talked about today. A lot of our people are sick. Their immunity to a lot of diseases is dying. These are the things that we have to look at. We have to pray for those people. We have to come back and touch Mother Earth again today. All of us have to think about our parents, think about our ways, and make ourselves strong today, strong-minded. Ask the Creator to bless us with happiness, long lives, healthy lives, not only for us, but Mother Earth, the trees, the animals out there. And we pray for everything. We ask for good things for everybody, no matter who they are.
Indian tribes have always been here. And it was only after Indian tribes had been here for thousands and thousands of years that subsequent governments have grown and come into being, including the United States government and state governments and local governments.
The Nez Perce always practiced rights of self-government, the right to control our own destiny and our own way of life. And when the Europeans came through and settled this land, just the mere fact that they entered into treaties with the Nez Perce tribe recognized these inherent rights of self-government.
The treaties between the federal government and the Indian tribes is in the Constitution of the United States. And in there it says that the treaties that have been negotiated with tribes is the supreme law of the land. So every person that's in the government has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution.
At this time in American history, there is a concentrated effort on the part of Congress and the state legislatures and some of our local governing groups to diminish the reservations, to literally destroy the boundaries and take away the sovereign status of the tribal entities.
And when we see that the conflicts between the Indian community and the non-Indian community, I realize some people believe that what we're doing is snubbing their constitutional rights that their founding fathers had guaranteed to them through their Constitution. But our founding fathers, long before their founding fathers, did practice those rights of self-government, preserving our abilities to make decisions for the benefit and to safeguard Indian communities.
We as tribal members take great pride in the fact that we are a sovereign nation within a sovereign nation. We expect the United States government to live up to its obligation in the treaties that it signed years ago.
Their obligations to honor and respect the Indian treaties. Within those treaties, which contains the trust and government-to-government relationships, the abilities for tribes to practice self-government. So it amazes me that people will stop halfway when they look at the Constitution and only look at their rights and at times dismiss what their obligations are in the Constitution.
And I think if they understand that Indian people have always had those rights and fought hard to reserve those rights and maintain those rights, and continue to do so, then I think they would understand
questions of jurisdiction for us really go at the heart of our being. I mean, part of our identity has always been expressed in terms of sovereignty, you know, the political structure of the tribe as well as the spiritual and traditional side of things. So when we see attacks against our jurisdiction, it does go at the heart of being a Nez Perce, you know, the heart of why the Nez Perce are here, the heart of our ability to control our destiny and watch and safeguard our future.
The tribal people are trying their best, and we're not experts, and we're making mistakes every step of the way. But so did America, and so did the state legislature. Idaho was not created in a day, and it's gone through a lot of growth. Well, we expect to be given that same opportunity to grow as well as everyone else.
I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be a Nez Perce. A lot of people don't realize that that the Nez Perce are here and have been here forever. And when everybody moves on, the Nez Perce are still going to be here.